Hi friends, Allie here. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to crochet this checkered basket. This pattern includes 3 sizes, but you can easily customize it to be any size. It features a long handle, making it perfect for an Easter basket, but you can also use this to hold leftover yarn, knickknacks, or even plants. If you want to follow along with the free written pattern, you can find it on my website, theturtletrunk.com, or you can grab the ad-free printable PDF from my Etsy and Ravelry shops. I'll leave links to those in the description box down below. Now, if you're ready to get started, let's head over to our supply list and let's get making. I'll be making the large size in this tutorial, but you can follow along no matter what size you're making. You'll need super bulky 6-weight yarn in 2 contrasting colors. I'll be using Lion Brand yarn Wool Ease Thick and Quick. You'll also need 2 crochet hooks for this project. We'll be using an 8mm or L crochet hook for the basket, then a 6.5mm or K hook for the handle. You'll also need a yarn needle and scissors. We're going to begin with our color A yarn and the 8mm crochet hook, and we're going to start with a magic circle. To make a magic circle, wrap your yarn around your index finger and your middle finger once, and then when you bring it around for a second time, cross it over like so and bring it to the back of your hand. Then insert your hook under the first strand, grab the second strand, and pull it under. Then I'm just going to twist my hook and grab and pinch the yarn right there so it doesn't come undone. Then you can remove your fingers and chain 1 to secure the circle. And there we have a magic circle. Now this chain 1 at the beginning of each round does not count as a stitch. So for round 1, we are going to work 8 half double crochet stitches inside the circle. So working around both these strands of yarn, crochet 8 half double crochets inside the circle. To half double crochet, yarn over and insert your hook into the circle, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. So there's 1 half double crochet, and now we'll work 7 more. When you've worked all 8 stitches, you can grab the tail end of yarn here and pull it tight to close up the circle. Then we'll join to the top of the first half double crochet stitch with a slip stitch and chain 1. Again, the chain 1 at the beginning of a round does not count as a stitch, so we're going to work our first stitch into the same space we joined to. And for round 2, we're going to work 2 half double crochets into each stitch around. So starting into that same stitch we joined to, work 2 half double crochets into the first stitch, and work 2 half double crochets into each stitch around. At the end of round 2, our stitch count is 16. Join to the top of the first stitch with a slip stitch and chain 1. Now on to round 3. For round 3, we are going to work 1 half double crochet into the first stitch, then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. And we'll repeat that around. So 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, 2 half double crochets into the next, and repeat around for round 3. At the end of round 3, our stitch count is now at 24. Join and chain 1. For round 4, we'll work 1 half double crochet in each of the first 2 stitches, then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, and repeat around. So work 1 half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, and repeat around for round 4. At the end of round 4, our stitch count is now at 32. Join and chain 1. Now, if you are making the small size, you are going to stop here and move on to the walls of the basket. I'll put a timestamp in the description box to where that starts so you can move on to there. For the medium and large sizes, we are going to continue increasing our base. So for those sizes, this is round 5. And we're going to half double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, then work 2 half double crochets into the next, and we'll repeat that around. So work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, then work 2 half double crochets into the next. At the end of round 5, our stitch count is now at 40. Join and chain 1. For the medium size basket, you are now going to move on to the walls. And the size large, we are going to work 1 more increase round for our base. So this is round 6 for our large size. We're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the first 4 stitches, then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, and repeat that around. So 1 half double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, then 2 half double crochets into the next. At the end of round 6, our stitch count will be 48. Join and chain 1. Now we are on to the walls of our basket for all sizes. If you're making the small size, this will be round 5. For the medium, this is round 6. And for the large, this is round 7. If you wanted to make your basket base larger, you can continue working the increase rounds until you reach your desired size. But we're going to move on to the walls now. So we have this nice flat base, and now we're going to work our walls up, and to have those go straight up and not be rounded at the bottom, we are going to work this round in the 3rd loop only. So if you look at the half double crochet stitches we worked last round, you'll see that a half double crochet stitch has 2 loops on the top, which are the front loop and back loop, but then a half double crochet has a 3rd loop on the back. We're going to work into that 3rd loop only, which will give us a nice bottom edge to our basket. So for this round only, we're going to be working into just that 3rd loop. We're also going to be working single crochets for this round and also starting our color changes. So a lot is happening this round, but it will get easier as we go. So single crochet in the 3rd loop only in the 1st stitch. To single crochet, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops on your hook. Single crochet again into the next stitch, but we'll change colors on the final pull through. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, then before completing that final pull through, drop your color A yarn, pick up your color B yarn, and pull through with color B. Now we'll work 2 single crochets with color B and change back to color A on that 2nd stitch. And since we'll be alternating colors so frequently, we're going to carry the non-working yarn through our stitches. So just hold the non-working yarn strand behind your stitches and work around it, so that strand is easy to pick up when we change back to that color. So single crochet in the 3rd loop only in the next 2 stitches. Before completing the final pull through on the second stitch, change back to color A. Finish the final pull through with color A, then single crochet in the next 2 stitches with color A. Don't forget to carry the color B yarn strand through your stitches. And then we're just going to repeat this all the way around, alternating between color A and B every 2 stitches, single crocheting in the 3rd loop only in each stitch around. I'm just coming up to the last square, and on the last stitch we're going to change to color A. Each square is going to be 2 stitches wide and 2 rows tall, so we're going to want to start the next round with color A again. So do your final pull through on the last stitch with color A, then join to the top of the first stitch with a slip stitch and chain 1. Don't forget to bring up that non-working yarn strand, so join around that so that it's up on the next level for our next round. So this is what our basket is looking like so far, and now we're on to round 6 for the small, round 7 for the medium, and round 8 for the large. And we're going to be working the waistcoat stitch from this point forward. And the waistcoat stitch can also be called the center post stitch or knit stitch, and it's simply just a single crochet stitch, but instead of working it through the top 2 loops as you normally would, it's worked through the post of the stitch. So you would normally work through those top 2 loops there, but instead for the waistcoat stitch, we'll work through the front of the stitch between those 2 posts and work our single crochet through there. So we're going to begin the round continuing with color A, and just like our last round, we'll be changing colors every 2 stitches. Just instead of single crochets, we'll be using the waistcoat stitch. So starting into that first stitch, going through the post of the stitch, insert your hook, making sure to carry your color B yarn strand behind, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops on your hook. Something to keep in mind with this stitch is to keep your yarn loose on your hook because that will make it easier to work back through this stitch for the next round. We're going to work another one in the next stitch, and on that final pull through we'll change colors. So insert your hook between the posts of the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, drop your color A yarn, and pull through with your color B yarn. And we're just going to repeat this stitch all the way around, alternating between our color A and color B yarn every 2 stitches. I'm just on the last stitch of the round, and I'm going to finish the final pull through with my color B yarn because I want my first square of the next round to be with color B. So you can finish off the last stitch with color B, and then we'll continue with it for our next square. We're going to join to the top of the first stitch, so going through the top 2 loops of the stitch with a slip stitch and chain 1. And now we are ready for the next round, which is going to be round 7, 8, or 9 for small, medium, and large. And now we're going to start our next set of squares. So now we're doing alternating colors for our next set. So we're going to start with color B, then color A, and continue that around. So we're going to continue the waistcoat stitch as well. So we're going to work 2 with color B, then 2 with color A, and continue that around for the round. I'm just coming up to the last stitch. And for the last stitch, we want to do the final pull through with color B. Then join to the top of the first stitch with a slip stitch and chain 1. Then for this round, we are just going to repeat what we did in the last round. So work 2 waistcoat stitches with color B, then 2 with color A, and we'll repeat that around. I'm just coming up to the last stitch, and we want to do the final pull through of that last stitch with color A so that we can start our first square of the next round with color A. Then join and chain 1. And now we're just going to continue to repeat these last 2 rounds, alternating the starting color every 2 rounds. So for the next 2 rounds, we'll start with color A, and then the next 2 rounds, you'll start with color B, and so on. For the size small, you'll continue until the end of round 12, which will be 4 squares tall. The medium will continue until the end of round 15, which will be 5 squares tall. And the size large will continue until the end of round 18, which will be 6 squares tall. So I'm going to continue on, and I'll catch back up with you at the end of the last round. I'm just coming up to the last stitch of the last round, and I'm going to do the final pull through with color A, then join and chain 1. And then we are going to work one more round for the border around the edge of our basket. And I'm going to do that with color A. So I'm going to cut off my color B yarn, leaving a long enough tail that you can weave it in. And then for this final round, I'm just going to loosely slip stitch into each stitch around. So just working in the top of the stitches as normal. Loosely work 1 slip stitch into each stitch around. When you reach the end, you can join to the top of the first slip stitch. Then you can cut off your yarn, leaving a long enough tail to weave in. Then we'll weave in all of our loose ends on the inside of our basket. So this is what it's looking like so far. Again, this is the large size. So weave in all of your ends, and then we can move on to adding a handle. For the handle, we're going to make a Romanian cord. You'll need your 6.5mm crochet hook and the yarn color of your choice. To make a Romanian cord, start with a slip knot on your hook and make sure to leave a long tail end so you can use it to sew the handle to the basket. I left a tail end that's about 12 inches long. Then chain 2. Next, we're going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook, but I want you to notice this loop on the right side under your hook because our step 3, we are going to be working into that loop. So remember where that is. Feel free to put a stitch marker there if you need. But single crochet in the second chain from the hook. Then we're going to turn our work and we're going to work into that loop there. So turn your work and that loop will now be on the left side. And now we're going to single crochet into that single loop. Try and keep your stitches really loose as it makes it easier to work back into. Now we're on to step 4, so we are going to turn our work again. And this next step is just going to be repeated for the rest of the cord. So now on the left, we have 2 loops there. So we're going to work a single crochet into the 2 loops on the left there. And then we're just going to continue to repeat that until your cord is your desired length. So turn your work, single crochet into the 2 loops on the left, turn your work, single crochet into the 2 loops on the left, and just keep repeating. Remember to keep your yarn loose, and we're just going to repeat until you reach your desired length for your handles. For the small basket, I made my handle 10 inches long, and then for the medium and large baskets, I made the handles 15 inches long, but feel free to make them as long or as short as you want. Once your cord is your desired length, you can cut off your yarn, leaving a long enough tail end that you can use it to sew onto your basket. So again, about 12 inches or so. In here I have my handle, so it's nice and sturdy. It has a little bit of stretch to it, but not too much. And now I'm going to sew it to my basket. So since I have one long handle, I'm just going to sew each end on either side of the basket. And since I'm using color A yarn, I'm going to line it up with a color A square. And I'm just going to use a whip stitch to attach these. So I'm going to go through the top stitches of the basket, and then through the basket handle, and then back through the basket again, and just continue that over the next 2 stitches. Once your handle seems sturdy and secured enough, you can secure that with a few knots on the inside and then repeat on the other side. Once your handles are secured, you can weave in any remaining ends, and then we are done with our checkered basket. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget you can find this free crochet pattern and many more free crochet patterns on my blog, theturtletrunk.com. I would love to see your finished creation, so please tag me at @theturtletrunk in your photos on Instagram and Facebook so I can see them. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.